Entra a ver. Sí. Se me fue la mano. Yo creo que tengo que configurar alguna cosa. Welcome everybody, and thanks for joining. In this stream, in this live, what we're going to do is very short because we're going to just navigate to the documentation and we're going to update the dashboard starter kit, and well, we're going to install a new beta version, in this case of Caspian, and confirming that everything is working as expected. Next thing what we're going to do is that we're going to let's say we're going to make a plan to reach to the release candidate, because the after beta version is what's going to come is that release candidate version. So I think I'm going to create a plan how we're going to reach to release candidate, because when we reach to release candidate, I think Caspian frameworks will be ready to be deployed in any of server which you want, because I was testing Caspian project using Railway and it's working as expected, and I see the easiest way of deploying Caspian project in this case. So we're going to see all those stuff in a later video, because we're going to be moving forward topic in this case. So okay, first we're going to go to the documentation. In this case, we're going to navigate. In this case, as you can see, the issue was in RPC, so it's in the library of Python. In this case, the issue which we find in previous video. Okay, so now components documentation already have the complete support or explaining that now you can have async await. In this case, your components can be async await. So here is a small examples. In this case, there we go, async components. And there we go, we could do async. Maybe if you are maybe requesting user information and then requiring, and then maybe you are displaying in this case maybe in your HTML, things like that, you know. Okay, so the next thing what we want to do is that, let's say maybe you want to do some stuff using server RPC logic, that one stay as is because it's already RPC already have async await support. Okay, next thing what was updated in this case was authentication. In this case, authentication documentation, it have the current version documentation support now, because as you can see, this file is the responsible of managing all about all thing you need to authentication in this case. So there in here in the documentation, as you can see, the explanation, things like that, when you want to reach to do like maybe dashboard or things like that. Okay, so next thing what we're going to do is that we're going to confirm that when you, let's say npx, in this case, because I already have the Caspian utils, but I'm going to run it again to confirm that everything working as expected. But I'm going to run the command npx and Caspian update project. So there we go, latest, yes. TypeScript, no. Okay, it's going to start installing in this case. Okay, there we go. Okay, now pip is installing everything, all the package needed. Oh my gosh. Yes. Okay. This gets set by itself. So I think I'm going to see what's happening in this case, because the issue is this thing. Okay, I know what is happening in this case, because I see that pip was installing and then it get blocks in this case. You need to confirm that that everything was correctly installed. In this case, you're going to see like the green message and things like that. Okay, so there we go. Now, to confirm that everything's working as expected, what you need to know is that the Caspian utils from the version 4 above have totally support with RPC, and you're not going to have any issue in this case, because that was the issue. And the issue was very small things in this case, because when I confirmed the issue was, for you to know where Caspian package live in this case. So you want to see that, okay, that is the local host support. Okay, there we go. So when we was returning in this case in JSON, let me go on. Okay, okay, here the issue was right here. The thing is that when I was returning the RPC, there was a result key in this case, and that was the issue, because in JavaScript what we was waiting is that the clean JSON format, but when I send with a key with result. The issue was that JavaScript wasn't understanding the JSON, because what JavaScript do is that when you send the JSON, JavaScript just send you back, in this case using the RPC technique, to your to your console, or to your response as a response. No, okay, that was the issue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run the dashboard in this case, because only this dashboard is going to finalize the task. So here we go. The thing is now dashboard, well, was user, now 1 2 3, and there we go to the dashboard. And now, as you can see, everything. Now let me okay, we're going to create one. Let's say test last test, I don't know, and dashboard. Anyway, let's test 1 2 3, and save changes, saving. What's up? Okay, I need to, how we name, restart the server. Okay, there we go. Okay, npm run dev. Okay, now let me see if everything working as expected. So yeah, okay, there we go. Yes, I don't know. Let's see. Internal server errors? No way. What? No way. You're going to tell me? Let's see. Okay, I don't know what it's going on now. Okay, let's see. Yeah, looks like now it's working. Okay, now it's working. Return user success. Okay, let's see. And test, I don't know. Create having some issue in this case. So okay, let me see what about in this case component dashboard, and create update. Okay, create dialog. There we go. We have valid user. Okay. User email. Oh yes. Okay. User email. Now we go. I think we need to let's say in this case send a message when the user email is the same in this case, because I'm not validating all this issue thing in this case. Let's wait the response. I'm sending. Okay, error. What? Okay. Now I think this is the last, in this case, in create. Let's say testing, I don't know, testing gmail.com, because oof. Okay, there we go. Okay, as you can see, the issue is that when you are validating, you need to validate the email input, because as you can see, the current issue is that when I come trying to integrate, in this case, let's say I'm trying to register this email, I'm receiving the error, in this case, in the console. Okay, let's do the example. In this case, I'm not getting any error if I'm creating the user. In this case, let's say let me refresh here, and now I'm going to create a new, maybe new test. But if I put the same email, in this case, tester, in this case, 1 2 3, something like that, because this, what we need is to handle this type of situation where I'm trying to maybe register the same email. And as you can see, there is the error. In this case, RPC already yelling out that email, it's already exists, and we cannot create that email in this case, because in our model, in this case, in our schema, email is unique. So that is the issue currently. So what we need to do is that we need to validate, in this case, when the email already exists. So we can do, maybe, let's say, as I type in, or before I send the request, or when I send the request, I need to search if that email exists, in this case. So what I can do is very easy in this case. Let's say validate, let's validate the email in this case. Validated email. So now so what we're going to do is that now we have the email. So email exists, in this case. So there we go. Okay, is okay. We're going to return a response, in this case, success files. Okay, let's say email already. Okay, save this, and then we're going to come, in this case, create the user, the response. Okay, so now we're going to get that information. So what I'm going to do is that delete all these, go away, and there we go, user deleted. Okay, let's start from scratch, in this case. Where you going? Okay, there we go. Okay, now we're going to create new, let test. In this case, we're going to add the same email, in this case, then tester email 1 2 3, and save. As you can see, we have the user created. Now we're going to try to create the same. In this case, we need to clean when we have name after test true, after creating. So I'm going to copy and paste the email 1 2 3, because password is depending on your validation. You're going to, all right, now there we go, we have error, in this case, post bad, and there we go, we have email already in use by another user. There we go. As you can see, you have the error that we are sending now from the create the user. There we are raising, in this case, validation error, and we are receiving. Now what we need to do is to control that in our end, in this case in create user. So try easy as this. So if everything goes good, there we go. If anything, okay. Okay, next thing, we need to reset the form in this case because what happened over here? Okay, format. Oops. The message in this case. Okay, the formatting. Okay, and let me see. No, the issue is that the format, the way how HTML is formatting, it's not correct. So anyway, what we're going to do is, okay, there we go. Now, how I'm controlling in using try catch in this case, when this arise any error, I'm going to catch over here and then show the error, and well, in set tools, there we're going to show any error and put the loading files. If everything is gone good, let's say test2, and I have the, let me see if I have the email. Yes, 1 2 3, there we go. An unexpected error occurred, please try again. So as you can see, working with RPC in this case and using Caspian framework, well, you have clear understanding because you need to know a little bit about JavaScript, and well, the backend is your Python. So anything what happen when you are calling to your end in this case, because remember RPC is API based, but you aren't seeing directly, you are calling to the function. So when I call to the function, here I'm doing RPC create update user. In this case, I'm calling to this component. So when I pass the information, I'm getting here. So now I can decide completely, I'm free. If the user, in this case, if the response in this case, let's say if the email already, so I can send maybe the user already exists, things like that. Maybe I can come here and let's say below, let's say I have a email exist message, things like that, and maybe a class, a text, which is going to be, in this case, we're working with CN color schema, so I'm going to put destructive. So this way, in this case, I'm going to declare the variable, in this case email exists, is going to be false by default, so I need to put, let's say, where's the email exists. So there we go, email, okay, complete. So let's say if the response, in this case, if the response, now I need to respond with a valid, in this case, valid response. So let's see. Okay. success. Okay, what? Let's say success as type dictionary blue. Let's say no. So there we go. We can't return a yeah. Now there we go. Okay, we get success files and the error, and then we're going to here. Even you can't do, let's say, maybe success files, but the error in this case maybe we could be so specific because you are returning on JSON. So let's say if email exists true, let's say. So I'm going to send that and I'm going to print here. So any kind of other error is going to come here, but if the response contains email exists true, in this case, well, that is a specific, in this case, if response email exists, then we're going to return, and there we go. Okay, so in this case, let's say email exists true, and I think with this message, okay, anyway, let's do it first because I see that here already gone away, gone ready. So let's copy this and then there's 2, and then we're going to put email 123. There we go. Even we have the email already exists by another user, or we get the toast message. So you can decide which one you want to validate in this case. As you can see, we were doing just in this case, I'm returning the response, and I'm tracking if this key exists in this case, because remember we need to put that, because remember, if this key doesn't exist in this case, if reach here, we doesn't have this key, and this validation can fail. So what we're going to do is that, okay, if this validation fail, then we need to put, like, say, undefined. In JavaScript, this is like, say, the email can be, maybe it's going to be undefined. So I'm just putting this question mark to avoid that maybe it got some error. Okay, now there we go. So you can create another user with the same email, but now we can create to copy paste tester2, save change, and tester2 already create. In this case, I can, let's say, maybe 3 let's say edited, and there we go, we have edited. So as you can see, Caspian project, you have the total control of your RPC request and your let's say, like, your backend and your front end both are connected when you are using RPC. So when I click to that button, when I submit the form, I'm calling in the RPC function create update user. In my Python, I'm calling to this function. So in this specific function, I can do any kind of validation, logic, API requests, things like that. And then I can return, let's say, I'm just returning a JSON in this case, as you can see, JSON object. So I'm returning this, and then I confirming that email exists. And if you see that I'm doing a database request, in component level. So in Caspian project beta version, we have the async await support not only in components but in RPC, which make you can do advanced things like this. And as you can see, it's immediately I'm doing my name. So there we go. You can, let's say you can contest 3. In this case, maybe you say I already have this 1 2 3 and email already exists, but I know the tester 3 email haven't been taken, so I'm going to say yes, and I create test 3 and there we go. We got the task message because I know that I can let's say overwrite another email which is not mine. Okay, there we go. So we already have our CRUD operation. Delete is working as expected. This is, you just come and delete, and there we go. I'm going to delete in this case go away this test and edit it, go away, and there we go. So now, well, you can navigate between pages, you can do your honing and things like that. Okay, so that was the small issue which I was not handling in this case correctly, because I wasn't validating in this case the email, and when I get to know that email was unique, the database not going to accept when you are trying to overwrite or create another user with the same image. Okay, so this was a shared live video because this dashboard it's already have I was building from create a starter kit in this case. So I think this data this project is very informative, so you can just go and in this case go to starter kits, in this case dashboard starter kits, and then you can clone this project just using your starter kit, and then you can get more information about this. And then, well, this project it's on live right now because you can go to the current, in this case view to search in GitHub. You're going to see everything what I have been uploaded and things like that. So if there are any question, well, maybe I could answer or things like that. You just let me know before ending the live. If there are any question. Anybody? Okay, to sum up, what we have done is that the dashboard starter kit, official Caspian dashboard starter kit, it's on live now. So you can just use it directly, you can clone it, and then you already have your login and things like that, because you already have authentication design and things like that. Even you can see how I implement the way, as you can see, we are limiting that the request should be 5 requests in 1 minute, because let's say brute force attack, things like that. So we are preventing things like that. So it's secure in this case by default, which is good. And when you are in the dashboard, in this case, when you are making requests, let's say search pagination user, you are already saying that we are requiring the authentication. If the user doesn't have any authentication, we're going to prevent the user shouldn't, in this case, should not have access to that API in this case. Okay, in this case, as you can see, RPC is a strategic in this case to making, like say, the back end and the front end together, become together in this case, and having this just a small API which you can use, and you can call Python function like when without hashing in this case, and like say making fetch requests to endpoint, things like that. That is the good when you are working with RPC. RPC makes very easy you to call to your components or in page level. So this is the sum up in this case. So okay, the plan of Caspian, what I have planning in this case, because the idea of Caspian is like say automate things, make Python environment become same like Next.js it is, and as you can see, it's close. It's very close, same like React server action does, because RPC are doing that for you. And in Next.js, they know it like server action, and server action in React introduced these server action things. So Next.js, which is start building and integrating the first React framework. So as a TypeScript developer, I say, okay, maybe next programming language can do this too. So I start experimenting, and there we go. We have RPC, completely same idea, same how name, same experience, things like that. Okay. Next thing is about deployment. As you can see, Caspian is based on Python. So if you can, let's say, I'm using, in this case, to be sincere, I'm using Railway. Ooh. Okay, I test Caspian project for deployment. In this case, I'm using Railway. Using Railway, I deploy Caspian project, and it's very easy, intuitive. The let's say the user experience, it's very high. Same like Next.js does in this case for React based projects. So I'm using Railway. I'm just how I naming in this case the project. I'm just hooking up with my Git, and then I'm just saying that this is the Git repo which I'm going to push and then start working. Okay, maybe in next video I'm going to start working on the deployment, because as you can see currently the current state of Caspian, it's very stable with these fixes in beta version, because after the beta what it's coming, it's the release candidate, and in release candidate I have I'm planning to deploy a project, in this case showing how to deploy Caspian project, and how Caspian depends on Python. You can deploy anywhere where the environment or the server which you want. You can say let's say I'm working with Railway, you can do it in AWS, Azure, and any other platform which have support for Python in this case. So well, thanks to you all joining in the stream, and we'll see you in next video. Happy coding.